Tonight about a new pilot program that'll give migrant families a reloadable prepaid credit card to buy food and baby supplies.
All right, it would replace the food boxes given to asylum seekers staying in hotels. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso has more on how it would all work.
Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies. The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program. Right now, the city has contracts with food services who provide non-perishable food boxes to shelters. They will start with 500 migrant families with children in short-term hotel stays. The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
We're just giving this migrant population more free stuff at the expense of New York City taxpayers.
In a statement, the mayor's office says, in part, quote, not only will this provide families with the ability to purchase fresh food of their culturally relevant diets and the baby supplies of their choosing, but the pilot program is expected to save New York City more than $600,000 per month or more than $7.2 million annually.
I'm not going to be thankful that a program that was bloated and inefficient is somehow cheaper to just give away free money to people in the hopes that they feed themselves.
According to the New York Post, this pilot program will cost the city $53 million. The amount loaded on the card will depend on the family.
We could around $9.8 million a day for people who have crossed the border illegally. This is illegal. They did not come in the right way. These are illegal immigrants coming in that we, the hardworking people of this state, no matter where you come from, you're here legally. You're footing the bill. This is wrong, absolutely wrong. And like I said to you earlier, this has become a bottomless pit and there's no end in sight. It's time to cut it off.
Well, New York's migrant crisis is now hurting the bank accounts of city workers that people rely on most. You're talking about police, fire, sanitation, and corrections departments. They've all been directed to cut overtime to help trim their budgets by 5%. Mayor Eric Adams wanting to end overtime for officers and firefighters to pay for the 100,000 migrants who have arrived in the Big Apple over the last year. With no end in sight, Adams estimating that carry for all of these people will cost billions.
Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies. The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program. Right now, the city has contracts with food services who provide non-perishable food boxes to shelters. They will start with 500 migrant families with children in short-term hotel stays. The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
We're just giving this migrant population more free stuff at the expense of New York City taxpayers.
Tonight, New York City's mayor pushing back on criticism of a new $50 million program to hand out prepaid debit cards to migrant families.
We need to dispel the rumor that we gave American Express cards to everyone.
Adams insisting the prepaid cards would curb the cost of inefficient food distribution that has led to expensive food waste, potentially saving taxpayers roughly $7 million a year. Adding the cards can only be used for food and baby supplies, with a limit of up to $1,000 per month for a family of 4.
If this is successful, we're going to expand it even more.
The pilot program drawing immediate criticism, including from rapper 50 Cent, who went on to social media to vent his frustration, writing, "Maybe Trump is the answer."
I told 50 Cent to hit me up. I would love to explain it to him.
And over the weekend, Texas Governor Greg Abbott joining the choir of criticism while on Fox News, calling the program insanity.
It may be the most reprehensible thing that I've seen take place over the past 48 hours.
It's the latest effort by New York City officials to deal with the ongoing migrant surge. More than 173,000 migrants and asylum seekers have arrived in New York City since the spring of 2022. Both the New York Democratic governor and the mayor have been pleading for federal support, insisting the city is at a breaking point.
This has hurt us. and where the White House needs to make adjustments.
The move as the search continues for migrants who were caught on camera attacking 2 New York City police officers last month. 7 suspects were arrested and 6 of those were released without bond. Police say they believe at least 6 more people were involved.
Get them all and send them back. You don't touch our police officers.
Governor Kathy Hochul now publicly challenging Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, saying she believes none of the migrants should have been released without bond.
An assault on a police officer means that she should be sitting in jail.
Bragg defending his decision while condemning the attack, saying he didn't request bail out of caution, adding he needed to send the right people to jail.
The video is the start of the process, not the end. We will continue to work to identify all those responsible and will hold them accountable for their specific roles.
Tonight, the Big Apple looking to D.C. for answers as a $118 billion bipartisan bill moves through Congress to impose tougher asylum and border laws. Well, earlier today, we were hearing from Governor Hochul. She was calling on New York's congressional delegation to support that bipartisan border deal. She's saying it's, quote, the most significant immigration reform in decades.